And so I have, oh dear, the light. Hello again, it's Fee here from Fee Pointer Art. I'm in the studio on a Friday morning, and today I am in my sketchbook developing a couple of ideas for the 101 Dalmatians illustration which I'm doing for an online advent calendar. So I've listened to the audiobook. Well, it was a YouTube video actually, but there was no video. So Joanna Lumley narrating the original story by Dodie Smith with Perdita, I'm saying Perdita, not Perdita, and Pongo and Mrs. So the original characters that were in the book. And I've listened to it. The audiobook was about 2.5 hours long, so I did skip a bit in the middle because I kind of knew what was happening, but I wanted to pick a piece from the story to illustrate. So in my head I had the twilight barking, where the dogs are sending messages across London on the top of Primrose Hill, and the other idea I had was when the puppies were actually being rescued and some of them went into a toy cart that belonged to Master Tommy. I have to check what his last name was and the address as well, because this was in Suffolk and they were travelling in the toy hay cart, and the puppies that were pulling the cart happened to be all of Pongo's and Mrs.'s puppies, and also Perdita's puppies were also rescued in the mix as well. So I just want to listen to that part again and just check, and then I'll visualise and develop a drawing on the puppies being rescued. I'd kind of done a start, so let me show you here. So this was my initial idea, where I thought I could, just one moment, I'll put the light on, get my shadow now. So yeah, my initial idea was to have a kind of open book, so I'm harking back to the actual book rather than the Disney film, because I was trying not to be influenced by the characters in the Disney film. So I thought I could create an open book that looked like the original book, ignore the text that's on there, and the twilight barking. So they were putting out the message, and then I thought I'd get a bit of the London skyline as it was in the late 50s. So the book was written or published in 1959, I believe. So yeah, and the Disney film came out in 61, so it wasn't long after. So that's some of the ideas, and then as you can see, I think I'd read the synopsis of the story on Wikipedia, and yeah, there was the piece about the puppies dragging this cart, but when I've listened to the book there's more of a description of what the toy cart looked like. And so I've been doing lots of thumbnail sketches of Dalmatians just to get an idea of how they look and move. So I've been watching videos, looking at photos online, and just being inspired by that. There's my initial kind of thought again. And then I was thinking I could have some cosy houses in the background, which would help to explain that it was Christmas, because they were rescued on Christmas Eve. So yeah, this is just some lovely drawings of Dalmatians, looking at their stature and poses. But I doubt I'll be that detailed in the final sketch. And then again, I watched some Dalmatian puppies online, so just to have a look what they looked like when they were puppies, and then just doodles while I listened to the story. So yeah, these were just doodles as I listened to the story. So Cruella de Vil had a long mink coat, and she either wore an emerald tight-fitting dress with rows of rubies, or the other way round, a ruby dress with rows of emeralds. But I'm not going to feature her in, because I don't feel that that's the spirit of Christmas in the advent calendar. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the dogs barking, because this kind of twilight hour looks about right for the time of year. And this is Cad Pig. So, you know, pigs on a farm, if there's the runt, they call it a cad pig. So she was named Cad Pig, and she was one of the puppies that was in the cart being transported home on Christmas Eve. Yeah, so I have about an hour and a half. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock now, and I'm meeting my client to discuss my other commission at about 11:30, and I don't want that to take longer than an hour, because then I need to set off and travel and go on my merry way. So I'm going to turn on the radio and have that playing in the background and develop this idea. Competition isn't great, but I was just trying to imagine what the hay cart would look like, and perhaps how the puppies might behave. So they'll be slightly unruly, I would think, being puppies. And some of the puppies had been described in the book. So you had Patch, who had a patch covering his eye and ear. That's Cad Pig in the cart, and I just need to double check whether there were any other puppies riding in the cart with him. And then there was one called Lucky, who had a horseshoe shaped spots developing on his back, and there's Roly Poly, who was clumsy and slightly plump. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that one, and I just would like to make it more Christmassy looking. And yeah, it's quite lively. So I will probably do a little bit more research and then think about how I'm going to finish the drawing off.